To all my dudes and dudettes out there who have a Z33 350z and or Z34 370z, you should probably go check on your diff bushings, as them things are probably blown out like the last set of tires you roasted on that track day. You will get a box strikingly similar to this, but no one on earth can match this skill level Zach presents with his shimmies. Flipping the box, then the lid on said box, this is what you get inside. Some solid diff bushings. For those of you that have also been around for more than 20 minutes and or have used any of our aluminum GK products in the past, you probably guessed it, the bushings are made of 6061 T6 aluminum because it's lightweight and strong AF. We love this stuff. Rumor has it, Gktech headquarters has made 100% of it. Moving right along, you get this big rear diff mount that presses into the subframe itself, which can be installed with our remover tool that we covered in a previous video. Next, we have the front diff bushings. These go right where you thought and in the diff ears facing the front of the car. The thicker ones go to the top towards the chassis, and the thinner ones reside on the bottom, making up a tasty little diff sandwich. And that's it. That's all you need to clutch kick to eternity or whenever your motor blows, whichever comes first. Remember that these bushings are available for the Z33 350z and Z34 370z, but we will be carrying out the install on our Shop 350z. The install for the Z34 370z is basically identical, so pay attention to this vid for both and don't freak out. So let's start, shall we? Disconnect the drive shaft and axles, support your diff with a strong friend and or a jack of some sort. Then loosen and remove the rear subframe nut, head up front, and remove the two long boys holding the diff ears up. Once the ancillary hardware has been removed, you can issue a squat command to your strong friend and or just lower the jack like a normal person. Get the diff on a bench and or the floor and snag a socket that's the same size as the bushing and line everything up, then give it a solid thwacking. You'd be surprised at how easy these come out. Seriously. Repeat for the other side, then grab some brake cleaner to spiffen up the insides and remove some COVID. Grab a rag and wipe those cooties free. Once as clean as the inside of the mask you've been wearing for 3 months straight, grab the thicker top bushings for the ears and gingerly place those into position. You're now 1/3 of the way done. Way to go, you're so good at life. Now remember the tool I mentioned earlier? The one we made a video on that I also mentioned earlier? You should for sure get that, as it allows you to change the bushing out without removing the subframe and or getting frustrated and destroying your subframe with a hammer. It not only removes the old blown out bushing, but thanks to our handsome AF engineer Dylan, allows you to pull double duty with it and install the bushing as well. Hot damn. Buy one and then rent it to your friends for a nominal fee. #profit. To install, grab the smaller top hat bushing and slip that sucker down into the cuppy boy as shown on the screen. Then grab the thin boy rod with the other spacer, washer, and nut attached, then thrust it however you see fit into the bushing hole. We will now demonstrate by grabbing a hold of the cuppy boy, and you can see what we are talking about. The cup keeps everything where it needs to be, and the rest pushes it on real good like. Before we move on, let's get serious. One of our favorite activities here at Gktech is the lubrication of the parts we install. This is just for ease of install only and no other reason. I mean, you can go and try, but come on bro, it's 2021. We have plenty of options out there. Just check your girlfriend's nightstand if you can't find any grease. We honestly do it just cause we like the way it feels. Just look at Zach lubing the ever-living F out of that bush. Once you're lubed up and have returned the tube of love to the nightstand, javelin the thin rod into the bush hole and set it aside for a few seconds because, as we all know, COVID loves diffs. Grab some brake clean and spray away, my friends. Then grab some fine, aka high grit sandpaper, and sand away all the imperfections and burrs that may reside in there. Give it a wipe with the same tissues you use to mop up the tears from missing events. Now go ahead and install the threaded rod and super lube the bushing you so gingerly crafted from earlier into the backside of the subframe. Then grab the cuppy boy and place that up front and the rod through as well, making sure that the flat face of the cup is facing the diff this time, which conveniently has a little ridge to locate it properly. Toss on a washer and nut, then support with an appropriate socket and start the pressing process. Reset if need be, and keep tightening and pressing the bushing all the way down until it hits the cuppy boy on the other side. When it bottoms out on the cuppy boy, that's how you know it's pressed in properly. Now ask your friend who's been patiently squatting this entire time with the diff on his shoulders to raise it up so you can place that one stud into the new bushing, threading a nut on to keep everything safe and in place. Then head to the front facing side ears and install the bottom half of the diff sandwich bushings with the bolts holding them in. Now make sure that the diff is all the way up, then get these bolts hand tight for now. Reason being is we want the diff to seat properly. When tightening and torquing. Once hand tight, go ahead and head to the back, grab a socket and the old trusty torque wrench, then tighten down and torque the back nut to these specs shown right here on this very screen. Now head back up front, being that we already hand tightened these so there shouldn't be any uneven pressure on the ears, go ahead and tighten them all the way down, torquing them to the specs shown right here as well. And my man, you've done it. This rear end gained at least 1,000 more clutch kicks, but likely many more. But you don't need to do any major clutch kicks because you're a great driver. Or at least that's what your friends keep telling you. Enter fancy motion graphics and boom, the Gktech guys you all know and love for producing these high quality, informative yet funny and to the point install vids for your viewing pleasure. If you can't install these and or ran out of lube, please have a pro do it and or email us with any questions you may have. This has been Officer Dan, Johnny Caps, Joshy Josh, and sponsored by KY Jelly Zach with another Gktech How To. Peace.